Hey folks, welcome to week 2. This is the last week in our unit on the scholarship personal statement. And as you can see, the actual foundation scholarship for South is due this Wednesday night. So if you're gonna apply uh, to this actual scholarship, you need to get that in by this Wednesday night. I need, my version, and the full scholarship application has a couple other things like references and some other stuff. So just note that the full application is a little different than what I'm just requiring on my end. I just want the personal statements, but if you go all the way and you submit for the full application, you have a few more items you have to tackle. Okay, so that is due Wednesday night, and I give you the link if you want to go all the way. Um, Also on the docket this week, we have a discussion. I'd like you to read this new reading, Not Leadership Material, Good, The World Needs Followers. This is by the author Susan Cain. She talks a lot about, in other work that she does, the power of introverts and how our workplaces are designed and our school places are designed for extroverts. So it's sort of like you're living in an extrovert world. So in this one, she talks about the glorification of leadership skills by colleges and universities and basically by everybody. So take a look at that. You'll need to read that for this week's discussion. So let's take a look at this week's discussion. First, I want you think of it. We're completing our scholarship personal statement. You've gotten my feedback if you submitted your draft. If not, please get that up so I can get you some feedback. So in this discussion, we're sort of panning out and looking at this idea of scholarships and questions and committees and sort of the questions that were asked to apply for college. And I want you guys to respond to our reading last week by Elijah Megginson when he wrote, I applied to college, but I didn't want to sell my pain. So I want you to respond to his ideas directly. Do you agree with Elijah? Do you disagree, or both with their idea? And then 2, I'd like you to respond to Susan Cain's idea about the glorification of leadership skills, right? Is this over pushed? Are there other ways to talk about value and meaning and contribution to our society besides leadership, right? Leadership looks like a lot of different things, but it's in this country it's seen as, you are the leader of 4 clubs, right? But that's not how Susan Cain says it has to be. And the third question, is there any advice you want to share or effective tips that you hit on for writing the college scholarship personal statement? So share out your wisdom of things that you've learned, or maybe I told you something in peer review. So share out some big tip that you have for revising our personal statements. So that's our discussion this week. And lastly, the last thing due, again, on Wednesday, I want your final version of your personal statement. So upload that to this assignment box right there. And again, if you go all the way, that is a separate scholarship application link that you need to go through. And feel free to use me as a reference if you do go all the way and actually apply to the scholarship. You need, I believe it's 2 references, one professional and then one can be personal. You can't put your friends and family as your primary professional, right? So it has to be like a teacher or a supervisor at your work, or me, right? I'm your teacher. Okay, and then folks, we'll get into Unit 2 next week. This is where we start writing our essay sequence. So that's really exciting. We'll learn a lot of close reading skills, different types of claims, different types of paragraph structures, and we'll pull all that together on a really interesting topic. I think we're going to do hip hop studies for this essay units. So look out for that. We'll be reading some really interesting works on hip hop studies. So all things hip hop. Okay, that's next week. So get your stuff in this week. Thank you, folks.